Okay. So I just want to thank everyone for attending tonight's education session, VPPR Circle Education Session. This is the last session for the Toastmaster year until we meet again in August. And I'm looking forward to bringing new content to you. We're going to be selecting some new people to come in. We'll probably keep the same ones that's here this year. They want to continue to expand on their marketing skills. So the more people, the better. We've learned a lot. And today you're going to learn a lot on how to market your club using Facebook Live. This is going to be very interactive. Make sure you have your phone charged. I'm going to be speaking a little bit first before we do dive into the Facebook Live version. So there's going to be a three-part. First, I'm going to speak to you about Facebook Live, the do's and the don'ts, things that you can do on Facebook Live. And then also, we're going to switch on over and we're going to speak on how you can go live on your phone. Make sure you have the Facebook app on your phone if you have a smartphone, and then also if you have your desktop in front of you, you're also going to learn how to go Facebook Live from Zoom. Yes, Zoom. Was it very intimidating for me? And I'm a Facebook queen. Yes, it was, because there's a lot of things that you have to think about before you go live on Facebook when you're using Zoom. We'll go over that a little bit later. So what I'm going to do first, if you can type in the chat, do you fear Facebook Live? If you ever had to try it out, I just want to know who I'm thinking about. Sometimes I got not at all. Yes, few yeses. Yeah, so I think we have majority yes. And then we have a couple that don't fear at all, which is really good. And I knew that we'll probably have more yeses because one, you don't know what to expect. When we're using Facebook Live, who's looking at you on Facebook Live. And it's just the fear of now that, we're in front of a camera, we have this light looking at us and you don't know who's on the other end watching you and you're wondering if you're speaking correctly, do you look okay? The thing is with Facebook Live, people just want to hear you. That's the best thing. And if you have content and information that people want to hear, there's no need, but I am going to show you just some different things that you can do so you can overcome your fear. If you can meet in person and talk in front of an audience, that's how you want to look at Facebook Live, as if you're speaking to an audience and getting everybody excited about your club and what you're doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up my slides so we can go over this, so I can go over this with you. So it's just going to be, let me just share. And let me know if you can see this. Okay. And let me get rid of my little floating, there we go. All right, so this workshop is basically how to market your club using Facebook Live. And so we took our toll, and we know that some people are scared of social media and going live. And the reason why some of you are scared because you fear the unknown, meaning you don't know what's going to happen when you hit the button. And the only thing that you can do is learn social media, First, learn how to post on social media. We have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Instagram. You have all these different platforms, but majority of people that are going live is basically on two platforms that I see the most, and that's Facebook and Instagram. I would say that LinkedIn is third because LinkedIn is basically events. But however, if you want to engage your audience, I would say if any kind of announcements, I would say use Facebook Live the most and Instagram. Those are the two. And so what I want to say is there is no fear here. So you want to really think about the do's and the don'ts. And this is where we're going to come in and talk about social media, Facebook Live etiquette. And so you think, oh, there's some etiquette to doing Facebook Live. It is, because you definitely have to be prepared in advance. If you are not muted, please mute yourself. You definitely want to prepare for a Facebook Live. Anything that you want to do. It could be announcements. It could just be engaging in your audience. You never want to do a Facebook Live if you don't have your description in order, if your background doesn't look great, or wherever you are doing Facebook. It don't have to be like a really professional studio. Just make sure that whatever you're going to do, if it's an interview or just yourself, make sure you're prepared in advance. The next thing is test and practice. The most important thing is that you don't want to go Facebook Live and you say, am I live? And everybody's waiting for you, or you have the people who just don't say nothing and they're just looking in the camera and everybody's waiting. So you don't want to be, you don't want to look like an amateur. You want to look very polished, ready to go. So you really want whoever's going to be Facebook Live with you, you both want to make sure you're ready. And that means if you're going to use a background like I'm using right now, like a Toastmasters background, which I'm going to show you for the Zoom Facebook Live, you definitely want to make sure that you're in sync with that. Now, there's some people who are not going to be able to use a background because something with their computer is not up to date with Zoom backgrounds, or they need a green screen. Next thing is know your audience. Know your audience. You definitely, if it's going to be Toastmasters related, you want to make sure your content is Toastmasters related. If you have an open house that's going to be happening, you definitely want to just talk about when is it going to be and get everybody excited. You can bring in some club members, and then that way people can tell this is a Toastmasters Facebook Live showing. And keep the content clean as possible. Definitely want to keep it clean. You don't want to talk, which I'm going to talk about the don'ts. And then you want to be professional and have fun. Don't have to be stiff. I know in the beginning, you're going to look stiff because you don't know what to expect, and that happens. Now, our don'ts is lack of preparation. Your audience is going to know that you did not practice. You want to make sure you have all your content ready. You want to be on time. Now, there's going to be time when you're going to have some technical difficulties. Technical difficulties happen. So if something happens where you're 2 or 3 minutes showing up and you had already advertised it, some people do understand. You don't have to apologize. Start your event immediately. And just thank everyone for coming to your event. Lack of practice. People can tell when you haven't practiced. Also, bringing content to the live event not relevant to your audience. And people can tell that you're not prepared because it has nothing to do with your club. You're just talking AWOL about something else, and you can lose your audience that way. And then never speak on politics. Sometimes you can offend your audience. You never want to, talk about what's going on in the current world. You want to leave that out of your Toastmasters Club Facebook page. And then you want to be acting unprofessional, you can really lose your audience, and then you lose membership. You can lose membership even if you have current members, and you can lose your guests, those who that you want to join your club. They will say no thanks. So these are the etiquettes that you want to think about when you're thinking about going Facebook Live. If you can place yourself on mute, thank you. And now here are some perks of going Facebook Live. So you want to advertise events like open house, membership, different things that you could be having. Maybe you're having a speech craft. This is an opportunity to bring new guests to your club. And now that we have beat the clock, then you want to probably do a Facebook Live this week once you're done with this here, this training, because this is a very interesting perk to have for your club, is to go live and to talk about what's going on in your club. And that's what attracts guests to your club. And then you can turn them into members. You can interview your members and club officers as well. So maybe you want to have a member of the month or a club officer of the month. Think of those things. Then you want to mention special guest speakers. Maybe someone is coming to visit your club and you want to draw more people to your club meetings. And then announce new members. If you have someone that just joined, take a picture, ask questions. Maybe, you want to post that on your Facebook Live, or you just want to interview them on your Facebook Live feed. That'd be great too. And then also, you can also have announcements about your meeting. So when do you meet? So these are great things, great ideas that you can use to market your club, to gain more membership. So this is going to be, and then also engagement with your current members. So how many of you came today to see Johnny Campbell? Yes, so thank you. And it was very interactive. And Johnny Campbell, he talked about his background in Toastmasters and how he became a public speaking individual on the speaking circuit. So it was very interesting to understand who he was and his books that he is writing currently, and then the book that's going to be featured during the raffle. And then also speaking about his keynote presentation and the interactive workshop. So it was very prepared. And how we did this, we had to meet on Zoom, and we had to talk about what are some few points that we can talk about with our club members and guests, and then also talk about the TL line to draw people in on why they should join this event not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And he made it so interesting about change management, being a change agent, being that transition man to help other people understand change. So this was it's called what you call like a plugger to get people to sign up and come to the TLI. If you did not get a chance to see Johnny Campbell and I, this afternoon is still on Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook page, we're also going to send it out on Constant Contact with the Zoom link, and you'll be able to see it. If you're not subscribed to our Constant Contact, you can send an email to D103 PR now@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send that out to you so you can see how it was very interactive this afternoon. So I bet you're probably wondering, how do you get started? Before I go into the Facebook Live, I am going to stop it here because I really want to talk with you about Facebook Live, because I know that sometimes there's a lot of fear. So I just want to ask the question for those who haven't been been online and to do Facebook Live. What really stopped you for doing it and just starting? And you can just use the raised icon, the raised hand icon, and then I'll just take probably like 4 people to talk about why they haven't tried Facebook Live. Okay, Linda O'Neill.
Hello, this is this is Linda, and sorry, kind of off topic. I wanted to know how I will be able to go and see the afternoon session from earlier today with Johnny Campbell, because you said that we could still see it on Facebook. I need to know how to do that.
Yeah, so if you go on, I mean, I could share the link with you, but say, there was no chat box, you would just type D103 Toastmasters Facebook. And then when you click on that link, when it comes up on Google, then you'll actually see the feed, the first feed or second feed, and you'll see that it'll say TLI keynote speaker Johnny Campbell. And then you just click on the actual video.
Okay, I think that's easy enough for me. I'm not really Facebook savvy, and that's one of the reasons that I'm on here. So, okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so we have Prince.
Yes, this is Martha and Prince. I just want to say to you, I love the way you are presenting. I'm in District 103 with you. I just joined this district a few days back, and I'm secretary for the Christ Universal Temple Club. And your presentation skills, I could learn a lot from you, because your demeanor gets me so interested, because you're talking in a way in which I can really understand. Even though I'm savvy with Facebook and all the other ones, it's always good to learn some new stuff. So Prince is PR. I used to be PR, and I just want to hear what you got to say. It's so good and interesting. And I want to thank you for presenting in a professional way. Every time I've seen you present, even from the conference, you nail it. Thank you for that, Valerie.
Thank you so much. And you said your name was Margaret?
Martha, his wife.
Martha. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Martha. Thank you so much. That's a great compliment coming from you. And thank you for coming too as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have Robert Rich.
Yeah. My concern is I've got very little presence on Facebook. I have hosted one Zoom meeting with a couple of friends, but as far as Facebook goes, I have only made a few comments on just my postings my sister-in-law has made, maybe my brother, but that's about all I've done. I have it on this device, and we have a workplace Facebook group, but I've done very little of Facebook, and maybe there needs to be, for these people like me, training on Facebook. That would have me concerned about using Facebook Live.
Okay. Now, with your club, do your club have a Facebook page?
The club, it's a new club. We wouldn't have our own Facebook page now.
Okay, you do have one.
As far as I know, we don't.
You don't. Oh, okay. So I would recommend, is your club a community club or is it more corporate club?
It's a brand new corporate club, and you got to be very careful how things are done. We don't want to overstep our.
And that's true. Yeah, because you do have to get permission to actually have a Facebook page if you're in a corporate club, and then, what are the protocols if you were to go Facebook Live, and that's where your marketing team comes in at, if you are with a marketing club. I mean, with the corporate club, not marketing club. And stuff. Okay, well, thank you for sharing, Robert. And then Teresa Banks.
Hey, Valerie, good evening, everyone. There are two reasons why I stopped using Facebook Live. The first one being I found the connection has been unstable quite a bit, especially the video. Sometimes it's not as crisp if I just do a straight record and then just post what I record. And I love the idea of doing a live for Toastmasters where I know the people better, because when I've done live in the past, you try to hold yourself in a decent light, and I don't want to run the risk of people cursing or dog barking or accident, or I'm not paying attention to my surroundings. So I really want to be careful.
That's good. And, you do have to, pay attention to your surroundings, and that is the truth, because, you don't know who's in your area. And that's why I always say, make sure your background, everything looks good before you do go Facebook Live. Because like me personally, when I did my Facebook Live with Johnny Campbell, I made sure I was in a quiet room. I made sure that, because I'm in the office, I have a sign on the outside of my door saying there is a live recording in session, and I put the time, the duration, so they know that, okay, it's not all day, it's between this time and that time. And then that way you don't have any interruptions, because interruptions can happen. So that's why you want to make sure that your environment before you do a Facebook Live is professional and you're in the right place. Like this space here is very quiet. I don't have to worry about anyone in the background. But sometimes you're going to have some fun days where you're just going to be, I've done maybe a couple on D103 where I was at Starbucks. I was drinking a great latte, I have one here. And I was just talking about the beginning years of creating a website and getting people excited, because I thought, hey, Starbucks is an exciting place. And where's the best place to have a Facebook Live and talk about an upcoming website that's going to be developed and getting people excited? So that was great. And then I had one when I was in the park where I was talking about what a great day we're having today, and just talking about Toastmasters and great things that's going to be happening in our district. So great day, beautiful sunlight, getting people excited to talk about Toastmasters. So it's so many different settings that you can have. So I'm going to share my presentation again, because I do want to go over a couple things before we go into the Facebook Live. So let me go back. So we know that, you're always wondering how to get started. And this is the biggest corporate, and that's fear for some. But you just don't want to think about fear. Just think of it as a basic conversation that you're having with an audience about Toastmasters. And if you're excited about Toastmasters, you're just ready to go. And just jump in. Say, yes, you can. You can do this. And you just want to be happy doing it. You don't want to be stiff. You just want to get out there and you want to make it happen. And once you do your first Facebook Live, oh, you're addicted. And what you want to do, you just want to plan it. And you want to sit down with your committee, talk with your president, your VP of membership, your VP of education, everyone that's on your team, and talk about the different things that you want to talk about in your club, and then arrange it for that month prior. Don't do the month. We know that when you first begin, you're going to be planning that month, but only a few things in that month. but you want to always do a month prior. So if you know that you want to start promoting maybe your new club officers that are coming in July, start prepping that today. Start prepping it today and say, we're going to have a Facebook Live on July 1st. And say, here are our incoming new club officers for our club, and just talk about each one and who's going to be in what role. And then you want to just think ahead all the time a month prior. So now we're going to get into Facebook Live on the phone. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop my screen again. So I just want everyone to get their smartphone. Hope you was able to download your app. And it should be a Facebook app. And you just open it up by clicking on the actual icon. And don't worry about if you don't have a Facebook page for your club, maybe you have your own Facebook page. You can try it on that. So what you want to do, you know how you go on and you just type a post and then you just send it for everybody to see it? So once the app comes up, it's going to say, what's on your mind? And underneath that part at the top of your Facebook page, let me know if you're there. You can give me a thumbs up if you have your app open. And if you're not on the camera, you can just use an emoji, thumbs up. Okay, I know Teresa Banks, I see your hand up. Did you have a question, or you just let me know that you have the app open?
I'm sorry, I didn't put it down from before. I'll adjust that right now.
Okay. Okay, so now that I see that some people do have the Facebook app open, where it says, what's on your mind, you're gonna see a red icon that says live. Now, when you click on live, doesn't mean that you're gonna go live. Now it's gonna ask you, Facebook will like to access the camera. You have to say, okay, and then it's gonna say access the microphone, because people gotta hear you, and you'll say, okay. Now you're not quite live yet. So the great thing about this is that you're gonna see yourself. If you don't see yourself, there is a little camera right by the X, and you can click on it and it will reverse it back to you. And then, but however, if you wanted to do a Facebook Live and you want to just everybody to see the lakefront or your house or whatever, you can always keep it front, like outside. But if you want it face forward towards you, hit that camera again so you can see yourself. And do you see that little camera? Okay, great. And you see yourself. Now it's going to say tap to add a description. So you can click on that screen, and then your keyboard is going to come up, and then you can just say anything. You can say in a workshop, learning Facebook Live. And that's all that you do. Now, to make it more fun and more effective, now you can't be scared. And you can speak into it. You don't want to be silent because this is an interactive workshop. And you can hit start live video. Now, once you see the red icon in the upper left corner, that's your timer. Okay, so I have Tina Taylor who's asking, can we go through that again? So what you're gonna do, Tina, is that you're going to click on the actual app, your Facebook app. Once you click on the Facebook app.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook app up already.
Okay.
On my computer.
Oh, okay. You're on your computer. So we're doing the phone, but you should be able to do the computer the same. It's a little bit different because it'll bring up some more information for you to add in your description, and then you just have to hit Facebook Live. But we're doing the phone first. And so,
okay.
Yeah, so if you have your phone with the Facebook app, do you have that?
Yep, I do. I got it.
Okay, so if you can click on the Facebook app.
Oh, I see live camera. I see live.
Okay, and then you see the little camera at the top where you can, like, if it's not showing you on the screen, you can click on that camera so it can turn it around for a face forward camera.
Okay, hold on. Face forward. Okay, I see it.
Okay, and then where it says tap here or tap to add description, click on that. And then your keyboard should come up.
It does.
And then you can say, I'm in a workshop learning Facebook Live, or anything that you want to put.
Okay.
And then there's a button at the bottom that says start live video. So I'm just going to say, when I count 3, 2, 1, when you get the 1, hit start live video. So 3, 2, 1, start live video.
Starting live video. Oh, there's a counter too.
Yeah, there's a counter. Hi, everyone. I'm here with the VPPRs and guests. And if you want to put yourself on mute, and I have everybody on that's learning about Facebook Live. They got themselves on mute. They're talking right now. Their friends and family can see them, which is awesome. And they're going to learn a lot about how to market their club on Facebook Live. And I'm live as well, and I'm talking to everyone. And then the audience is going to see people pop up. There's like a little eye in the upper right corner. You'll see people using emojis because they like what you're talking about. And so it's really fun when you can engage with the people that are following you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop. So when you do stop, your Facebook Live, in the corner, the lower right corner, it says finish. So you want to click on finish. And you're going to see a circle that's going to say ending live video. And then you have a choice to either delete it or you can post it. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to post mine. And then my friends and family, of course, they know I'm in Toastmasters and I love to teach. And they like to see 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute snippets. But however, it'll stay there. And then if you want to delete it from your actual Toastmasters, not Toastmasters, your Facebook page, you can always go back and hit those 3 little dots. Can we edit video? I've never edited a video from Facebook because it's a Facebook Live. I'm pretty sure if you did it on Zoom, you can. But however, you will have to do, if you do a Zoom Facebook Live, then you can take that Zoom that you recorded. You have to make sure you hit record, and then you can actually edit that video and post it on Facebook if you don't want to use that Facebook Live. So how did everyone enjoy just that little bit on Facebook? Was that fun? Did you see anybody pop up in your feed like a little eye and everybody's saying hi or something? Sometimes that does happen where everybody wants to say hi to you. And you could even, if it does pop up, but you have to ask for permission to add another camera, add somebody else in your feed. But always, even if it's my family, I still ask for permission because they will be very upset if I hit that camera and then they don't look appropriate. So that will be very embarrassing. And plus, we don't know what they're doing on the other end of the spectrum. So we do want to give people their props. So if I can get at least one person to share their experience going Facebook Live. Okay, Robert Rich.
Well, I was aware of what's on your mind from whenever I've gone into Facebook on my jitterbug smartphone, and I hit that thing and I hit the camera. I might have missed the stuff, and I wound up seeing my kitchen table, but not anything else in the video. You can see how this could be workable, at least.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it can be very fun. You know, at first you will be nervous because you don't know what to expect. But however, you know, as time goes, it just gets better. It just gets better and better. Now, the next, I
had a question. I was seeing my table. How would I see other things? Did I miss a step?
So what happened was to get the face forward camera, so we can see you on the camera, you have to hit the icon, the camera icon at the top, so it can switch the lens back to front facing, so it can show you. And that's the reason why it was showing your table, because you had the lens going the other way.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing we're going to learn, which was a challenge for me because I had to learn, and I was scared. Now, some people say, oh, you're a Facebook queen. Yes, but when you're trying to merge two different platforms, it can be challenging, but you always have to be open to learning new things. So this is exactly what I had to do. So what I'm going to do, this share screen is going to be a little bit different because I have to share the screen that we're all on so you can actually see what I'm doing. So let me know if you can see, hold on, let me move this up. If you can see this part where I'm hitting more. Can you see that? Okay, great. So you see where it says live on Facebook. So you'll click on live on Facebook. And hold on for a moment. And then here, you're gonna see where it says Facebook Circle Education Session. And it has all this information about what's going on in that education session. So this is the description. So even if you wanted to do a Facebook Live from Zoom, you'll just put the Zoom meeting title on Facebook. And then you'll also just put a description. And then you want to choose where to post your Zoom meeting. So because it's going to be on a page, and this will also go on District 103. That's how it's going to look. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna come back, because what happens is when you go on Facebook Live, before you go on Facebook Live, and you click Facebook Live, it takes you to Internet Explorer. So you can actually put all this information in. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. Well, not yet. What I'm going to do, I'm just gonna click on stop video. And I want everybody to do the same because this is actually gonna go live for real. So if we could do stop video and click on mute. What happens, I have to keep myself unmuted because I'm still going to be explaining myself. What happens is with Facebook, you said, please do that again. Let me know what part are you talking about, Deborah?
What you just said, you said to, I saw the beginning part where you said to go on the Zoom, and you said right there where you said Zoom meeting on Facebook, we have VPPR Circle Education Session. Is that where we will put our club name if we were going on Facebook?
No, you just put whatever event you're going to be having.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So since this is a VPPR Circle Education Session, I'm putting that there. And because it's all connected to what we're doing right now, it just automatically bring that information up. The only thing I have to change is where it's going. So I'm sharing it to a page. It's going to District 103 Toastmasters. And what I'm going to do is, before I go live and before any of you go live, you want to make sure that you stop your video. So you see that red line going through the camera, and then you want to mute yourself. The reason why you have to do that, once you go live, Facebook is going to pop up, and you got to make sure you mute yourself. Once you mute yourself, and then you can go back and click on unmute, and then you'll be ready to go. And then you just take yourself off the camera. So what I'm going to do, now that you know that you can go live, I'm gonna stop sharing, because you cannot share and go live at the same time, because that would be a disaster. I just wanted to show you how that's gonna look. Now, what you can do, if you follow D103 Toastmasters on Facebook, I want you to go to that right now before I go live, because I want to make sure that you can see what's going on. And then just give me a thumbs up when you're at D103 Toastmasters Facebook page. And then what I can do, I can also share with you the D103 Toastmasters Facebook page link too as well. So you can have that, and it's quicker to get to it as well. So I'm gonna share that in the chat, so you can click on it. If you're on your computer, I know if you're on your phone, it's kind of hard to get to the chat, but it looks like that everyone is on it's on their computer. And let me know if you're there. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on mute. Okay, so now we are Facebook Live and from Zoom. And I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for coming to the VPPR Circle Education to learn how to market your club. I know there's going to be an audience that's going to be joining us on Facebook Live. Just want to let them know that we are the audience is trying out, seeing how it looks on their computer, on their phone, when they go live on Facebook from Zoom. We're going to carry on with this here training on Facebook Live, even though we're on Zoom. And you want to make sure that you're on gallery as well. And so now I know that someone says just me, or is anyone else hearing double? Now, sometimes it does end up, like reverb. But however, when you do go live on Facebook, there should not be any kind of reverb going on. And what I'm going to do, because I know it's only like 2 of us on Facebook right now, because everybody else is on no camera. Now, if we had everybody that was on camera, you'll see everyone on there. But because we only have 2, myself and then another individual, then you're only going to see both of us. But what's going to happen, I'm going to change the actual view. So what you're going to see now is speaker view. So you're going to see everyone on the top, and then you're going to see me as the speaker for the actual session for the VPPR Circle Education Session. So that's how you want, if you were to present and you want to talk about what's going on Facebook Live, on Zoom, you just want to tell your audience that we are having a session on how to market your club on Facebook Live. And so it's very interesting to do. And let me go back to Zoom. Now, what I want to do is I want to open it to question. I'm gonna go back into actual gallery, just in case we have a couple of people who want to show themselves on Facebook as well as Zoom. It's still the same thing. It's just that now that you're not on your phone, now you're on Zoom and everything's integrated onto the Facebook platform where we're having our session. So now that we are coming to the end of our session, now that you learn the do's and the don'ts, the things that you can post on Zoom to Facebook as well as to your phone, and then also not to fear to go Facebook Live, because this is a platform that you can market your club. You can also, talk about the different events that are happening in your club. You can talk about your new members that just joined your club, which is very interesting because this is how you bring in engagement. You want to keep your members happy, engaged, and that's how you retain your membership. And that's how you attract more guests to your club. So we're going to come to, towards the end, and we want to talk about, tell some questions, ask some questions about Facebook Live. Are there any challenges for you? And then if there are no challenges, are you ready to go Facebook Live and promote your club and take it back to your club? And maybe because you don't have a Facebook page, are you thinking about it? So do anyone want to ask any questions? Ask away.
Valerie, I have let me turn this phone off. Okay, let me turn this phone off. Honey, can you come and turn your phone off? It's getting trouble feedback. Valerie, what I wanted to know, I missed one of your steps. Can you turn your phone off? I missed one step where You're going to the Facebook group for your district. I kind of miss how to do that.
Yes. So what happened was there's a drop-down box. So the drop-down box is it can say your page, group. It'll say your page, group, or group page. So you want to click on your page. So it's going to be like 3 different options. So what happens is...
Okay. Is that under the camera area?
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to use your actual, like for this one here, because we're doing Zoom and integrating to Facebook. Once you click on more in Zoom, you're going to click on Facebook Live.
Okay, I see more.
Mm-hmm. And then you probably won't be able to do it because you're actually on Zoom, but you will have to do that after you're finished. But what happens is there's going to be a form that's going to come up. Once you name it and give a description, where you want it to go, which is either your own page, which is your public page, which is your own page, Facebook page, or you want it to go to a group, or you want it to go to a Facebook page. So you only get 3 options. So when you hit that drop-down box, you want to go to the page, group page. And then underneath it, whatever pages you have, you just click on that drop-down. And the one that I picked was District 103 Toastmasters.
Got you. I get it now.
Okay. And then you just click on Facebook, go Facebook Live.
Got you. Thank you. And that's under the More tab.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
On Zoom. You're welcome. All right. So we have Robert Rich, who has a question.
Yeah, actually, I have 3 questions. How do you file District 103 is my first question. My other questions are, what's the advantage of using Facebook Live over something like Teams or Zoom? And at work, we have Teams. That's the main thing that's used to work. Is there something similar where you can, for that? Those are my questions.
Okay, so the advantage of using Zoom is because of, for me, if you want to present like, say, a PowerPoint, or you want to do some sort of training, it's a little bit cleaner when you're on Zoom than when you're on Facebook, because on Facebook, you can't show any kind of like PowerPoints there. So this is very good. And then also, say if you're having a conference or you're having a TLI and you had 500 people here, and because that's the cutoff maybe for some, or maybe the cutoff is 100, now you can take your event and put it on Facebook, and now everybody still can come to your events. So that's the advantage of integrating the Facebook and Zoom together. Now they also have different other integrations where you can integrate your events on YouTube. We're not talking about that today. Right now, the focus is basically on Facebook. What was the first question?
Well, how do you file District 103? I know it's elementary, but how do you file anybody?
Are you saying how you find it?
Follow.
Oh, how you follow. So on Facebook, if you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see like numbers, I think it's like 600. I think 600 and something people or 500 and something people are following. There's like a little hand where you can click on it. I know sometimes Facebook changes a lot, but it's like a little hand where you just click on it, and that means you're following right now.
Oh.
Yeah. I will have to check it again, and then I can reconnect with you. Because sometimes they do change the icon pretty much a lot. Sometimes they'll have a square button where it says follow, and you can click on that if they still have it. And what was your third question?
I think you actually covered all 3 of them, I think.
Oh, really? great.
The only other one was about we have Teams at Metra instead of we can use Zoom, but we primarily use Teams, Microsoft Teams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard of Teams before. I haven't used it before, that platform, but I've been mainly using Zoom a lot, and Slack, different things. Anyone else have any questions about the Zoom and Facebook integration? Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone will use these platforms. If this is your first time going Facebook Live, now what I would recommend is that you use your phone first. Using the phone is the best thing to do because you're getting that hands-on looking into the camera. I had to start practicing how to look into the camera on my laptop because we're so used to looking at one another. So if you're looking down, it feels like you're not being engaged with your audience. So you want to get into a habit of looking into the camera on your laptop, and it's going to take practice. But I would recommend starting on your phone because it's much fun, especially if you're taking a walk, you can start talking. If you belong to a Facebook club, a Toastmasters club that doesn't have a Facebook page, you probably want to talk with your committee to consider if you're a community club. If you are a corporate club, you will have to talk with HR and your marketing team and seeing how you can engage your Toastmasters meetings onto their Facebook platform and see how they can bring that in to your corporate club. I know that different companies are different, when it comes to Facebook, and they have certain protocols that you can do when you go on Facebook Live. So you do want to get permission in that aspect. So I know before we close, because I know this is the last class before August, I do want to recognize my team. Let me share my presentation. Okay, let me hide this here. They have been doing such a great job this year, and we had a lot of things that happened here. You're gonna ignore that. Let me just make sure I have the right one open. Hold on for a minute. I want to make sure we show our teams because they did such a wonderful job. And we even had one individual, which I am going to mention. I know that she didn't want any credit, but I have to mention her because she's very energetic, and all of them are. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah.
So this is the PR team. Of course, I'm the PR manager. We had Allison Crump, who is the social media producer and editor. She did a fabulous job on our club banner parade for our conference. And I just want to say thank you, Allison, for all the work that you've done with our district. And when we need certain flyers and videos, you came in for that. And then we have Gary Behrens. Well, I know he's on right now. He is the newsletter editor. He's brought in some great content this year, very engaging. And if you haven't seen the latest May edition, that's featuring the coverage of what happened at the conference, it's really detailed. You really have to look at it. If you haven't, make sure you check your spam if you are subscribed on Constant Contact, and then and just make sure you read all the content. It's very engaging. Thank you, Gary, for all that you've done and your contributions. I would like to say thank you to Courtney Jones. She's our copy editor. She made sure that everything flowed right, was our content, made sure that it made sense. And anytime you needed Courtney, if you text her, email her, she made sure that everything looked nice. And if we had to do some edits, we did those edits. Then we had Sanchit. He was our LinkedIn social media manager / Zoom master, if you remembered him. During our conference, him and Carl did such a marvelous job. But however, our LinkedIn social media, it definitely increased in volume. And we're getting more members joining our LinkedIn page, keeping up on current events. I do want to thank Sanchit Chitray for all the great work that he's done with D103 PR team. And then we have Lee Hopkins. He's our YouTube social media manager. If you had received the playlist link for our conference videos, he is the one who actually made sure he had the art in front of the video, and so you'll know that it was the actual conference video. So it was really great. It was a great collaboration with me and with Lee and I. He did the videos, I did the content. So it was really great. So I just want to say thank you, Lee, for all that you do and bringing your expertise to these videos that are posted on D103 Toastmasters YouTube channel. And then we have VPPR Mandy. She is a social media contributor. So she really, I have to really give her props. She's really good at using hashtags, even though, she wasn't an administrator on the PR team. What she done to connect to our Twitter account, she really used those hashtags really effectively. And she really put the word out each month when we had an event. So I really want to thank VPPR Mandy for everything that she's done for D103. Let me just stop sharing here. And then I also, not just for our PR team, I also want to thank our VPPRs for attending, those who attended every session, and then those who, that could come when they could. I just want to thank you. And then also our guests. And then also we had club officers that belong like VPMs and VPEs. And I guess I better say what they are, which is Vice President of Membership, Vice President of Education, and just different officers came to some of these sessions because they really wanted to learn something new. Just like Martha said, Martha says she came here because she's learning something new. And that's exactly what the PR team wanted to give to you. And each person on my team, they practically talked on certain months. I mean, we had Alison who talked about how to create video on PowerPoint and keynotes. And then we had Courtney who talked about how to create content. And so it just, those things that really matter is when you can have a great team like our PR team. And I just want to make an announcement that there will be a campaign going out next week. And we are looking to build the PR team next year. So we are looking for 2 administrators for each social media channel, like our Facebook, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Twitter, everything. If we can get somebody that wants to learn, wants to expand their skill set in learning these social medias, but we are looking for social media managers. We're looking for 1 constant contact designer. If you know constant contact, or if you know someone that's interested in being a constant contact graphic designer to put campaigns together, we're looking for that. We're looking for 2 webmasters. And the reason why we need two, it is I wouldn't say it's a really busy website. It's just that once we have those district highlights, we need those who are going to be available to put that information out there. And it's very easy. New website, drop and drag, just put, information in and then put your image and post. It's very easy. You'll also tell the individual if you know them or if it's you will get training on how to manage the D103 website. We're also looking for 2 copy editors and then at least 1 copy writer. So if you know any of those individuals, just let them know that it's going to be posted next week. And we're going to have the descriptions of those different slots of what we're looking for. And then there will be an interview process. So we will want to get to know that individual and their strengths. And even if there's weaknesses, like I said, there's going to be training for you. So you'll know exactly what you need to do. But it was a pleasure of having everyone here this year and then having you here for our last training to learn the most important of how to market your club. And now that we're at the end of the Toastmasters season, you definitely want to take advantage of using Facebook Live to advertise your club, talk about beat the clock, and then not only that, you want to bring those guests into your club so they can know a lot about you. And then you want to convert them into membership. And that's the only way you're going to grow is if you promote your club. No one knows your club. No one knows you're meeting online. We know that times has changed. And one day we will be in person. And I know we got 3 minutes left. And if you have any questions right now, just say something right now. And then let me check the chats.
Valerie, I posted it in the chat. My hat goes off to you with everything you've done as well. Let me show my face. My hat goes off to you with everything that you've done, including your team. I have to give special kudos to Lee Hopkins because those YouTube videos were off the chain. You would have thought that it was somebody high-tech, professional other than him who did it. And so if he doesn't think, Lee, I hope you can hear me. If you don't view yourself as a professional, please stop because you tore it up. That was so awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
It was amazing. Yes. I mean, amazing.
Your district, Valerie, your district is absolutely phenomenal. I joined this district, as I said, just a few weeks back and became an officer. And I know from what I've been exposed to so for the conference and having you at the helm of a lot of the different discussions, I learned so much.
That is amazing.
I really believe I'm really high maintenance in the district that I serve here in Phoenix. But I promise you, there was an earning inside of me wanting to know more and to do more. And I learned through all of these virtual settings that most of us, like you said earlier about the fear, are too afraid to try new things. And I mean, you can't break anything, first of all. And I just want to tell you again, I applaud you for your professionalism. And the young lady who came on before, who gave you kudos, I really believe that I'm going to be at a better place inside of this district. And by the way, I'm on the PR team here in Phoenix, and I would love to be a part of your PR team. I can do quite a few of those things, and I'll definitely go in and read which one of those areas. I love Meetup as well as Pinterest, and those are kind of like my favorites. But I know how to do all the other ones as well. But I'm here, I'm in charge of just the Meetup and Pinterest. I could continue to do that if you need a person to do that. I love postings.
Okay, well, thank you, Martha. I'm looking forward to having you on the team. I know that we're at time, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the live. And whoever is on our Facebook Live, I just want to say thank you for attending our VPPR Circle Education Session. I'm going to end the live so I can end my session here with the VPPR attendees, but thank you so much. So what I did was I just ended the stream, and where it says more, you just hit stop live stream. And so it just stops it all together. And so now it's probably like winding up, and it's just going to be a replay. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended tonight's education session, the VPPR Circle Education Session. I put my email address in the chat, which is D103PRnow@gmail.com, because I know everybody's familiar with that email, but next year is going to change since we really evolved. We now have our own D103 domain email addresses. We're really going to force that on everyone to use. It's still connected to the D103 PR now. I'll get a notification that I got an email from my PRM at Toastmasters.org email, but we are going to let our new incoming officers and any leaders are going to have a D103 Toastmasters email address. And then we're just going to let them know to start using it. If they get their own business cards, start putting that email. We just want to get everybody used to presenting themselves professionally as leaders with this domain email address. But I do appreciate everyone attending, and we'll see you next year in August.
Thank you. Take
You're
care,
welcome.
everyone.
Thank you,
Have
Valerie.
a great evening. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Great job, Valerie.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent. Over the top.
Thank you. Thank you.